But what I found is when you start a business, you got to find a way to get big quick, and it's usually through a partner. Don't ever think you can just do it by yourself, because you can't. You can kind of go along and have a nice little business, but if you want to grow and you want to be big, you got to get a partner. You got to find somebody that can really make a difference for you. So the other thing that I would tell you, if you don't start a company, you want to go work at another company, get in there and just do the very best you can. I'll give you an example of someone that took a downstroke to come into Altiris that just had a great opportunity open up. We needed somebody to come in and kind of help us with some marketing things. So I knew a lady by the name of Corrine Clark that used to work at Novell. And she was currently at Novell. I said, Corrine, you got to come over and work with this little company. It's really fantastic. And so I brought her over and she interviewed, and all the guys were like going, I don't know, I don't think she's that good, and blah, blah. I says, trust me, this lady knows what she's doing. So they hired her, and she just kind of marched up through the ranks, and she eventually became the VP of marketing. Symantec was the company that acquired Altiris, and she is now the chief marketing officer at Symantec. Has a, I don't know how many, I think a $500 million marketing budget that lady's in control. Lives right here in Orem, Utah. And she's like the #2 person at Symantec because she was willing to come over. She had to take a downstroke in pay to come over to Altiris, but she saw a great opportunity. When you see great opportunities, you do whatever it takes to get in there and then work your magic and grow up in the company. And great opportunities open up to the people that are great employees and go and get involved in the company. The other thing I learned at Altiris, in the early days, we had this deal with Compaq and HP all signed up and ready to go, and I'm sitting there and going, we don't have the right team to really maximize our opportunity here. And I was thinking, you know, and I had an issue. My wife had some health problems, and I thought, you know, I'm not going to be able to spend the time here that I need. I need to get somebody here who can kind of take the reins for a while and run this thing. And I'm sitting at my desk, and the name Greg Butterfield pops in my mind. I've met him a couple of times. So I called him. I said, Greg, what are you doing? He said, oh, it's the last day of my employment at this one company. I'm leaving, and I'm going over to take another opportunity. I says, before you do that, you need to come over to this company, Altiris, and just take a look at it. He goes, well, I've already accepted a job offer. I says, trust me, just come over and look and see what you think. So he came over and spent a couple hours with us. And he told me later, he says, when I first walked in there, he says, I just felt something like this is where I needed to be. He came over, and the thing I learned was, as an entrepreneur, you can take a company to a certain degree. I'm pretty good at getting a company between 0 and 10 million. After that, I can help out, but I'm not the guy that's going to run the show. Butterfield was just the perfect guy. When you meet him, you'll know why. The guy is amazing. He brought himself in, as well as a cadre of sales professionals that really made a huge difference in the company. And that's one of the reasons we were able to build the company and go out. We did a public offering in 2002, right after 9/11. First tech IPO that went out. And just because of the team we had. You'll find that the team is the most important part of your business when you get a company up and going. But so the thing I learned was, as an entrepreneur, you need to know when you've hit where you need to bring some other help in. Don't feel bad about that. I just laugh all the way to the bank whenever someone says, well, why did you let Greg Butterfield get all the credit? I don't even care. I said, I'll compare my wallet to Butterfield's any day, and we'll be probably in the same range, and everybody's happy. But if you get caught up in titles, and I've got to do this, and nobody else can, and we know everything, and we don't need anybody else to help, you will fail. Or you won't be as successful as you could have been if you would just allow other people to come in and help. One of the challenges we have in our culture as members of the church is we've been taught self-sufficiency from the time we've been this tall, right? Do it all yourself, and try not to rely on the help of other people. In business, I think it's just opposite. You want to have a wide of ecosystem as you can to help you grow your business. And you need to bring the brightest minds from wherever you can get them to help you grow your business. So the self-sufficiency thing just doesn't work in that component. Now, do you need to be careful about your spending and that kind of stuff? Absolutely. But you need to bring as many smart people as you can get together to come to bear on a business opportunity. You do that, you'll be successful.